This is Mr. Alex Galloway. He's the first toolboxer that we've got in this year's season.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I've seen your stuff on YouTube before, and that's what really got me interested in it. It's a nice little concept you've got. It's obviously a bit new to golf. The way you approach it, I thought, well, that's something I really want to get involved in, rather than being scared away from golf. Because sometimes I think, oh, it's a little bit scary going to a new place. This was quite interesting, so I thought, oh, I'll give it a go. That's great.
So, plan of action for today's session is with all the toolboxes we're going to be doing like a studio session and an encore session. So we've already got, like this one today, we've got the course one booked in for next week. This will be just kind of a rundown of what's happening numbers wise. So we're going to look at 7 iron, we'll probably look at driver.
Yep.
We'll see if there's any major flaws, issues. I know for everyone this is the first day back that we're allowed to golf in England, so it might be a bit of rustiness, I'm fully expecting that. I've hit a couple demonstrated today and they've not been good, so. Yeah, so I'll talk you guys through the numbers as I'm talking out through the numbers, and then we'll see where we go from there. Let's get into it. Right, so we are set up, GC quad, right there in front of us. We're going to collect some numbers. Let's probably go for like 10-15 shots, you know, so we get a real good inkling of what's going off. Yep. We'll do some 7 irons. We'll review the information then, and then if any changes need to be made today to starters already, then we'll do so. So this is the table view. I'm going to pull this image up on screen for you guys so you can see it. We're looking at angle of attack's pretty level. Club path is 8.3 degrees right on average, so we've got a move that's going out in that direction. Face to path is every shot close to it. So the predominant shot shape right now is a draw. That's been quite severe at times. So you've had paths that have gone as much as 10 degrees right, faces that have been closed 15 degrees to that. Club lie angle, this is the big one for me. More so than anything else, we notice that when we look at the club view, you've got a severe toe down situation going off. So you know when we spoke about in lessons prior to starting the toolbox with the high handle situation, with the steepening of it, that's something that we need to get cracked on with today. The main reason I say that is because when we've changed this with people, if we were to get your lie angle back to somewhere around like your zeros and stuff, the strike, which has been predominantly in the toe, that section, that sorts itself out. So it's almost like we saw that, and then this will like follow afterwards. That is like the main concern. We look at some other stuff, so the loft that you're presenting is really good, less than the number that's on the club, so that's something that you're doing really well. Let's get cracked on with sorting your line angle out. 12 degrees is too much. So, perfect drill for this. Right, so a drill that we've just devised for sorting your dynamic line angle out. We see all too often a tendency to want to raise that handle and deliver a club that's quite severely toe down. So by setting up this little contraption that we have done here, all it is a range basket with an alignment stick. We just need you to have the feeling that we're moving this handle a lot lower than what it was. So if we can get it, I mean, to start with, I'm only expecting, if we do some good swings, to reduce it from 12. The more that we can work back down to 0 is going to be perfect. And I think as a byproduct, we're going to see strikes a bit more centred and ball flights a bit straighter as well. So have a few goes at that, exaggerate that feeling as much as you can, so the feeling of keeping hands underneath that alignment stick. I'll like step in and show you some bits as well, and then we're just going to keep measuring and we're going to see if we can just slowly creep it down.
So it's along the lines of what I thought I was feeling. Quite happy that at least I'm feeling something along the lines of what is actually going on.
Great. Lovely that. I would almost suggest as well that we go a little bit more extreme just to start with, you know, to really get that.
Really exaggerate,
So I mean, that is a bit crazy. One way to make it slightly easier is just move this ball in for this.
Oh, we'll try that.
Just like, even if it has to be a couple of like pitches.
Look, it's only shots, isn't it? Just shafting it, so we'll put it in the test myself.
I think that might be a bit too extreme, but we'll see how we go. Well, straight away then, first 2 shots, we've seen a slight improvement in strike, and more controllable flight now.
What he's done as well, the biggest one for me, is it forcing me to slow it down. I feel like I swing too quick.
So
when I'm thinking about that, everything feels sort of more in sync.
Yeah.
Don't get too rushed. I think that's where it might come from. You just want to fling the...
That rushing from the top, that's always going to be associated with the quicker that you want to go, it wants to go that way. So one thing I do if I were you, if you just do some really slow stuff, let me show you. Just want you to practice some real like slow, smooth rehearsals.
Yep.
So where it's just like little swings. Keep the hand as low as you can. Yeah. So you see I'm really exaggerating that follow through there. I think as soon as you tried a bit of speeding, like we've both said, you're just always going to have that tendency. And it's always the case as soon as you start to break up movement patterns, it's best to do it nice and slow and get it in. Just little chippy ones like that. So I'm really feeling there at that point that my handle is like almost like near my left knee, and then it's whipping around and going left from there. Right. You think about the draw tendency that you have as well. It all comes together. So your big move is that with a club face that's closing. Yeah. It's almost like you're throwing a rugby ball out that way. Yeah. We need to get it feel as though we into that. So let me just help you with controlling this angle all the way through. So as it's coming from here, feeling as though that's your moving down, and then exiting that way. Brilliant. Best one so far, right? Right. You want to see something quite good?
That's good.
4.5. So dynamic line angle already has changed from 12 toe down to 4.5 now.
That's something I can do anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, basket in a...
Yeah, isn't it? So easy to do.
Basket in an alignment stick.
And depending on how much you want to push that feeling, you go more horizontal.
Yeah. I know that when I used to practice with the wedges, I used to try and get it almost flat.
Yeah.
Try and get right under it.
Mm-hmm. Great shot. That's brilliant. Strike or better, we have gone to 8 degrees toe down again.
Yeah.
Strike the brill though. Like I said right at the start, if we look at your strike pattern from these earlier shots, we seem way out in the toe area. As soon as we're even thinking about sorting a dynamic line angle out, they're starting to be more into the middle line. Great shot. Super. Strike were good, but it was a little bit toe down again.
Right.
So we've got a bit of a balancing act going on at the minute, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's like comfort comes from delivering toe down, but you're able to find a strike now.
Yeah.
I'd rather see you like miss it a few, present a better line because I know that that's going to come. Yeah. Again, we could do with club pointing more behind you.
I'm really trying to think that.
Yeah. And maybe not even necessarily do it with your wrist, if you just like heighten your arms instead of, you know, when your arms get low, you get there, don't you, and Steve.
Right, yeah. So what's that? I'll pick that arm high.
Left arm nice and high.
Right, if I take that then. So
just rehearse that.
if I go there,
Way back.
that better.
Way back.
Right.
So just film one so I can show you.
Because that feels a lot easier than
Doing it with your wrist.
my wrist. Do you know, because it goes there.
Yeah.
But I've been practicing. Like, I've really got to go.
Yeah.
If I can get that, gets rid of right.
So like long term going, I know short term we're just looking at changing a couple of numbers today, but long term I'd much rather see you top a back swing this way
Yeah.
than there.
Right.
Able to pull down the sleeve from there. So as you just saw there, we spoke about a couple of backswing ideas that's going to translate to how shallowing the shaft in transition a bit better and controlling that lie angle. On this last shot that we just hit there, I think you should be able to see it. So we saw strike is now middled but just a little bit low. But one of the big encouraging things is that lie angle were only 4.8 degrees toe down. As you saw at the start of the session, it was 12, so massively improving that. Yeah, good shot. You're going to like this one?
Yeah.
Maybe not strike. Are you seeing it on quad?
Just see numbers.
So, strike a little bit toey, which are a bit unfortunate, but lies 1.1 degrees toe up. Beautiful. Beautiful line. Strike better. 6.7 toe down. One of your better strikes, that one, though.
Yeah.
Best strike back for a while, that creeping towards centre. Only 10mm off at middle, that. Great shot. Fabulous. 4.5 degrees toe down, strike with most field side of the right so far.
So that's something.
Really good. So, as you saw at the start of the lesson, we had a severe toe side strike bias, and we had a big dynamic lie angle issue. We've managed to get that dynamic lie angle down from 9.9 degrees on average to 4.5, and within that average of 4.5 we've had some that's even been 1.2 degrees up, so you've done a right job on that. Halved, basically you're twice as good now at delivering that club lie angle wise than you were before, and we also noticed that strike wise, you've had a bit of a play around and you're starting to feel that middle of the club now, so super effort for first session in that, mate. Oh, you want to comment on before I finish?
No, it's good, it's just something to work on.
Yeah.
Just take them away next week or so, a couple of drills. And hopefully we'll just keep on top of that, hopefully we don't go too far back.
That's
and
it.
Just keep tabs on that.
Even if it does, we'll bring it back in again, we get back on top of it. Homework wise, so when we're looking at golf swings, aesthetic wise, we want to see hands a bit higher and golf club pointed more out in that direction instead of hands getting low and you're getting across the line.
Yeah.
And then like drills wise, your best doing is basket.
Yeah.
However hard you want to make it for yourself, you like more vertical, however easy you go.
Yeah.
Horizontal, other way around.
Yeah.
However hard, horizontal, easy vertical. Yeah.
Marvellous.
Right, well done, mate. Super start that.
Super.
Cool. Thanks ever so much for watching. We've got Piers coming next episode, and then we've got Andy Westwood coming later next week. So yeah. Me and Al will be on course next week as well.
Yep.
So our next session is going to be like 9-10 holes out in a buggy, talking about some course management stuff, applying some of the things that we did today on course as well. So look forward to it. See you next time. Later.